This is a short walk around the Smith Court Loop Trail, taken May 17th, 2015. The first thing you encounter at Smith Court are the old TC Timber Cove trail signs made by Dale Corbin in the 1990s. This one has been there long enough so that it is mostly rotten on the bottom, but it's also a testament to the fact that the trails were regularly used and marked. There's 3 of these TC trail signs left. What you first encounter when you begin to come onto the Drake property in question on the upper loop of Smith Court headed south are no trespassing signs. They are interspersed regularly on the trees, and they are intimidating and make anyone who enters think that they shouldn't be there. Again, you come upon these. If the first one didn't stop you, the second or the third one might, and you might turn around and leave. They do not make you feel welcome on the trail. If you can get between these no trespassing signs, you come upon the trail as it once was in years past and as most people experienced it, although the actual easement is slightly to the left of this particular trail, or the center line at any rate is to the left. This is basically how the trails were around the Smith Court Loop ever since the late 1960s. If you look to the right towards the ocean, you begin to see wooded peekaboo views through the woods. As you approach the Drake home on the left, this is about as close as you get to it as you come across the easement. If you turn to the right, you would see this view of the ocean. This view is fairly typical of Timber Cove homes, usually taking out enough trees to have a view, but leaving in some larger trees and some understory. With varying degrees of peekaboo views as you walk. Again, all recommended styles of keeping your view slightly wooded. As you approach the Timber Cove Inn and the Benny Buffano statue off in the distance, and the trees end because of the clear cut. This is approaching, and your view off to the right. Again, going past as close as you get to it. And I would just point out at this point that you can see from the stumps that there was at one time large trees, probably fairly old, that screened the home but have been removed. And as we pass again, we look back over our shoulder, and that's as close as you get to that side. As you head around the corner, you overlook the water tanks of the Timber Cove Inn that are close to the easement, which is also a public utility. And as you head down the hill, you hit your first obstacle. Of course, pedestrians from the other side would hit other obstacles sooner, but this was debris that was piled onto the easement from the clear cut. Both neighbors adjacent to this property, the Timber Cove Inn and Maren McCabe, claim that this is not their debris and that this was caused by a clear cut done by the property owners. It's very difficult to get over this. Most pedestrians would not try. I would not recommend it. I did walk over it once. It's dried. It's been there for years, and it's a definite fire hazard, but for our subject today, it is an impediment to pedestrians. If you get over those hurdles, there are others laid across the easement. Logs in various positions that block the easement that need to be climbed over. If you can get past those obstacles on the lower loop, you can get an idea of the way the trail used to be in the old days when people walked it regularly. On the lower loop, you see a much different type of view. You do see the ocean in small patches through the trees. You're also very close to the highway down below. Again, you can see the highway there and the view that's sort of obscured. And I might point out that the new alternate dedication that is mentioned that we have not seen nor proved would be much closer to the lower loop elevation than the high, very inspiring vistas up of the upper loop. As you leave the Drake property, the final no trespassing sign that would stop people coming from the other direction. To give you an idea of where the debris is, from above you can see the trail or the easement down below being blocked by the logs. And the steep slope of this area is shown in this slide. At the top, you can see how steep that slope is from the top loop down to the bottom loop close to the highway.